A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is here, and I'm here to explain it to you, because I am very smart, and you are also very smart for watching me. This video has no spoilers for the rest of Dunk and Egg, but if I do, I'll warn you first. This pooping scene may seem, to you, nothing more than some elementary school toilet humor, or ditch humor. However, showrunner Ira Parker is doing an intelligent bit of symbolism here, juxtaposing the serene landscape and chirping songbird with Dunk spraying ass all over the place. The deeper meaning here is that humans shit all over nature instead of appreciating its beauty and nurturing it. Climate change, etc. In Dante's Inferno, 11th Canto, Alighieri writes, "Nature follows, as she takes her course, the divine intellect and divine art. And if you read your physics carefully, not many pages from the start, you'll see that when it can, your art would follow nature, just as a pupil imitates his master, so that your art is almost God's grandchild." Basically, nature is art, and nature is divine, and we humans are pupils of nature, so God is grandpa. So that's the brilliant subtext here in this seemingly goofy sequence of Dunk pooping his guts out. No, the pooping is not specifically from the source material, but the show does start the same way the novella does, with Duncan burying his mentor, Sir Arlen of Pennytree, on a shady hill facing west, so he'll sleep with the sun. I wonder how closely the rest of the show will follow the books. I seem to recall George R.R. Martin claiming in 2017, that's 9 years ago folks, that HBO isn't doing Dunk and Egg. Eventually, sure, I'd love that, and so would many of you, but I've only written and published 3 novellas to date, and there are at least 7 or 8 or 10 more I want to write. We all know how slow I am, and how fast a television show can move. I don't want to repeat what happened with Game of Thrones itself, where the show gets ahead of the books. When the day comes that I've finished telling all my tales of Dunk and Egg, then we'll do a TV show about them. But that day is still a long ways off. George, me boy, why must you keep doing this to yourself?
A finger in the bum.
Oh, that's right. Carry on then. This video is brought to you by my patrons. If you enjoy my channel and you want to make me as rich as George R.R. Martin, please give me $5 per month in exchange for these perks: early access, updates, your username immortalized right here, etc. Okay, thanks. Back to the video now. Look at Egg, man. His head is so eggy. Now that's lore-accurate hair. This kind innkeeper tells Dunk that knights are built the same as other men, which I think Dunk understands quite well considering his earlier excretion of diarrhea behind that tree. Then she says that jousts don't change the price of eggs.
And I never knew a joust to change the price of eggs.
Which must be the writers throwing in some modern-day references so that us Zoomers can understand what's happening too. Westeros economy is just like America economy. Really, what I think the writers are doing here with this innkeeper, and then with Leah the Lovely and Beanie, is establishing the theme that putting your life on the line for the sake of gold, glory, and other people's entertainment might not always be worth it in the end. Take care of your body since it's the only one you've got.
Be good to your body, Knight. Last one you like to have.
That's some dandy advice, I say from the definitely not ergonomic chair I haven't stopped sitting in for a little over 4 hours now.
Stay the fuck away from me.
I guess skip to this time code, cause I'm gonna do a very minor spoiler right here. Okay, so this deadbeat in the inn is Daeron Targaryen, eldest son of Mycor. Currently, he's in 7th-ish place for the Iron Throne, depending on if you include females. He gets dragon dreams in the book, which book readers know all about because Dany, but which show watchers probably only have a cursory knowledge of thanks to whatever the fuck Helena is in House of the Dragon. Daeron is called the Drunken because his dreams drive him to alcohol. He's a melancholic loner boy who doesn't know what to do with all the shit going on in his brain. And among that shit is Dunk. We get clarification on how specifically Daeron dreamed about Dunk in a few episodes, so I guess I'll leave it for now. By the way, Daeron tossing a dragon coin onto the table is a nice little clue for the less lore-obsessed viewer to connect Daeron with Targaryenism. I mean, that's the Targaryen sigil on that coin. Hey wait, does that thing have 4 legs? I'm telling Glidus. What? Is that color? Orange in my medieval fantasy television program? The writers have gone mad. That's a good-looking House Ashford sigil, since this is the Tourney Ashford in the Reach.
You take a boot to the head. This is a Reach, not the Riverlands.
This guy is named Plumber. He's the steward of Ashford, and oh goody, he gets a cute little AI art on the official wiki. Yep, good job guys. He even looks just like the actual official artwork we have from Gary Gianni. Anyways, I love him. He's disgusting, but the type of disgusting that's a little bit endearing. Stefan Fossaway is disgusting in a non-endearing way. He's beating the shnikes out of his cousin here, Raymond Fossaway. This scene is adapted pretty much 1-for-1 to the book. I won't do this for every scene, but for a weirdo like me who did the pointing Leo meme at the screen when Stefan called out for Sir Grants, it just butters me up, you know? Like, Ira Parker totally could have changed Sir Grants to a more recognizable name, like some random Sir Selmy or Sir Tarley. But nope, he just kept the line how it is, the first name of Sir Grants Morrigan. I really shouldn't care, but it's just cool when writers don't invent non-consequential characters that don't even affect the story at hand.
Your grandmother's grandmother, Ariana, was born a Targaryen princess.
The 2 nice sex-working ladies, Leah the Lovely and Beanie, appear to be prepping a dead body. You'll recall the painted stones over the eyes from Game of Thrones. It's customary. But this young lady is still alive, gosh darn it, which gives me a very troubling thought. We know these ladies are in the service of Sir Manfred Dondarrion, and they're inside Manfred Dondarrion's tent here. Is this girl going to pretend to be dead so that Manfred can live out his necrophilia fantasy with her? If so, icky. Hope they're getting paid well. The puppet show was a nice little treat. Tanzel is reciting the story of Serwyn of the Mirror Shield. He's a legendary knight figure from the books who supposedly slayed a dragon by fooling it with its own reflection in a mirror. In the book, this first puppet show isn't given much detail, and a subsequent puppet show tells the story of Florian the Fool and Jonquil, which we'll probably get to in episode 2 or 3. So this was a certified lore drop by Ira Parker.
I've had a profound thought, if anyone would care to listen. Fuck it.
I knew I was going to love Lyonel Baratheon ever since that promotional image of Dunk wearing his antlers, but I didn't expect to love him this much.
I don't know. I'm really quite drunk.
Lyonel recounts an adventure in a storm, probably out on Shipbreaker Bay, which claims the lives of Robert Baratheon's parents some 70 years from now. Stefan Baratheon was probably Lyonel Baratheon's grandson, but right now, Lyonel is only the heir to Storm's End. He looks to be in his late 30s or 40s, so his father is probably a bit elderly compared to Westerosi life expectancy. He might be in his 60s, or even, if you can believe it, his 70s. Anyways, I really liked Lyonel's line here.
Within every man, there are many men.
Within every man, there are many men. He's saying that all the Stormlanders in history who survived deadly storms were able to do it, and so he's a Stormlander, he can do it too. Again, establishing a theme. You can put this one in your 8th grade book report. Dunk is a knight, and within him are the feats that every knight has been able to make. If they can do it, why not Dunk? That's the sort of underdog personality Duncan has, willing to make difficult risks because, ultimately, he believes in himself. The confidence of a 7-foot-tall Hedge Knight. Quick spoiler again here, so skip to this timestamp to avoid. When Lyonel asked Dunk if he's come here to give a gift or take his head, this might have been Ira Parker giving a little wink of foreshadowing. Obviously, Dunk is supremely outmatched at the current moment by Lyonel, who is a rich, proud lord who could command Dunk to do whatever he wants. But years down the line, Dunk becomes Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, the most prestigious knight in all of Westeros. When Lyonel demands a trial by battle, it's more of an even playing field. Lord Commander of the Kingsguard versus Lord of Storm's End. Lord versus Lord. So maybe this was a subtle hint at their future fight. Or maybe not. I am probably reaching.
This is a Reach, not the Riverlands.
I think I'll end this video with another heap of praise. Something I've been very annoying about on this channel is the failure of House of the Dragon, and to a greater extent Game of Thrones, to do anything interesting with the dozens of great lines of inner monologue George puts into his books. Obviously there was no inner monologue in Fire and Blood, but I'm just saying non-dialogue parts, basically. This is where an author is able to work on character development, themes, foreshadowing, all just by living inside a character's head. You can't do that in a movie unless you either use voiceover narration, which most people find cheesy, but I kind of love if done in moderation, or you turn that inner monologue into outer dialogue. And that's exactly what Ira Parker did at the end here. In the book, Dunk makes that observation about a fallen star being lucky, and how that luck will belong to him alone since his foes are sleeping in rich tents and pavilions. He makes this comment in his own head. But the show gives this dialogue to Egg instead, which I love.
Falling star brings luck to those who see it. All the other knights are in their pavilions by now, staring up at the silk instead of sky.
So the luck is ours alone?
It makes Egg seem more precocious and smart for his age, which he's supposed to be, and it helps develop that early bond between Dunk and his little buddy. Just a real cute moment that didn't need to be included, but the story is better for having it. Same time, same place next week for my Chris view of episode 2. Patrons get to see it a few hours early, in addition to other perks. And make sure you're subscribed to my new second channel, Crusader Chris 2, where I'll be posting gaming stuff like GeoGuessr, exclusive from Patreon after patrons have had access for a while, and other stuff, like my recent ramble about the big GRRM article in The Hollywood Reporter, which doesn't really fit here on my main channel. Alright, goodbye.